I was trying to think here, what has been the major thing for Mark Hughes, okay? And, my guy said, put something on him, man. Put something seriously out there. And I tried to think to myself, what has been the very biggest thing in the world, okay, that's really made Mark Hughes move, okay? And I would say that the number one thing that has made Mark Hughes what he is, who he is, and what he continues to be, and what he's going to continue being, okay, is my complete passion for helping people. Seriously. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. Now, a lot of you have heard about my mom, okay, and that was certainly a serious driving force for me wanting to help people lose weight, okay, but a lot of it also has to do with my upbringing, okay. My mom was in a serious situation when I grew up. I had a stepfather that was, not going to get into too many details about it or I'd be lying on the couch over here, okay, but was a very mean person, okay, very mean to me, very mean to my mom. She was treated in a very horrible way as we were growing up. And from a very early on age, by the time I was about 9, I was taking care of my mom constantly, okay, getting her out of trouble, protecting him from the bad person that was in the house. And I was made to stay home at school many times to make sure that the house was clean and the cooking was done and everything was straightened out, and protecting her from him to make sure that she wasn't going to get hurt and stuff like that. And so I think a lot of my instincts, just from the time I was a small kid, has been to want to help people, okay? And a lot of it came, from the time I was 9, and it just drives me, okay, to want to have the passion for people to lose weight, and that goes deep inside of me, okay, very deep inside of me. And it started when I was a small kid, and it's what drives me today. And it's the number one thing that keeps me going. And I think a lot of people feel that passion. So many times people say to me, man, I met the guy for 2 minutes, up on the stage. I feel like I've known him for the last 14 years. And I got a lot of that from my grandfather. My grandfather was that kind of guy. And he was a wonderful man, the greatest man that ever walked on the face of the earth. And he was the kind of guy that would put his arms around you the minute he met you. And he was unbelievable. And I get that from him, and I think a lot of people feel that from me when they meet Mark Hughes. But if you can pick up any of that passion, okay, you'll move mountains. Be unbelievable things that you can do. I mean, where I've come from and the area that I grew up in and what's happened in my life has been amazing, okay? And if you pick up the passion like me, it's going to just be overwhelming. The passion for the products, but it's not just what the products, it's what the products do for people, okay? And it's the marketing plan of the century, but it's not the marketing plan. It's what the marketing plan do for people, okay? And if you can have the passion for the products and the people, okay, and you can have the passion for the people, I'm telling you something, it'll be unbelievable. If you care about your people, okay, anywhere near the way I care about all you guys, okay, it would be unbelievable. Sometimes, it really bothers me when sometimes people say, that they're looking at the marketing plan and they're getting upset because some of their people are moving up and they're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to get cut off because one of my guys is getting up here to the top. That's bad thinking. That's bad thinking. There's some kind of myth that goes on about multi-level, which is stupid, okay? Somebody gets you the pitch, okay, that here you sign up one person, you retire forever. Hey, that's not the way it worked for me. Okay, well, I've learned you work every single day, you keep having the passion, you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, you keep working. That's what it's supposed to be, work. What a concept. And you guys got to remember something, okay? You may have helped a guy get up to a certain stage, but you didn't take this guy from millionaire to president's team. Let's get serious. Okay? The person took himself from millionaire team to president's team. They worked like crazy. It's stinking thinking to be thinking about your people getting up to the top. You want your people to get up to the top. Man, I was so happy when I put that pin into Marcus's chest yesterday and Hughes-san, okay? I want to put all the pins in your guys' chest. Did you see those 40 President's team members up here today? Putting those pins in their chest? Let me put all the pins in your guys' chest. Huh. So I would say that was my number one thing, is my passion for what's happening. And my passion is just getting so big. Here's number two, attitude. Attitude's great when everything's going great. Of course, it's easy to have a good attitude then. When you got to have a good attitude is when things are not going good. When things are going bad. You know, I can remember back in the beginning, I talk about Don Grinnell all the time. I was counting on this guy to make things happen. Boom, he's out of the business. Okay, and along with it, what happened? All the people went with him. Okay, and what happened to my meetings? Went from 60 down to 20. Okay, how did you think I felt back at that time when we didn't have any literature, we didn't have any journals, we didn't have nothing going on? Okay, we had just a couple of bottles. Okay, and my only guy that I was counting on to really make things happen left. How do you think Mark Hughes really felt? Terrible. Put in your notes. I felt bad. Now, I've signed the guy up 3 times. And I felt bad all 3 times. I'm telling you, I'm going to get him a 4th time one of these days. He's going to be one of these days. I don't know how many times it's going to take us, but we're going to get him sometime. You know, the last couple of years with myself and my wife, been a very bad situation for me, okay? And nobody knew it. Any of you guys know it? No. Because I'll tell you something, when you got to keep your attitude up, okay? And when you're king, the king can't let the attitude out. Okay? The king can't ever let his feelings show that things are going bad or going rough or having a bad day or having a bad marriage or having a bad time or what's going on. The king can't show that stuff. And you know what? You guys are the kings and queens of your areas. And you can't let it show either. Because people are counting on the way you feel every single morning about what you're doing, about the products and the marketing plan, or what kind of rumors are happening, or whatever's going on. They're counting on your attitude. And you guys better have the answers and the solution. And I'm not saying that you may not have a problem that you got to face, but let me tell you what we're going to do about it. We're going to work twice as hard, and we're going to put on 2 mini buttons. We're going to get out here, and we're going to work like crazy. I've taken good care of my employees, I've taken good care of my distributors, and I've taken good care of all 3 of my wives. I gotta have a lot of passion for this business the way I'm going. Now, unbelievable is right. Now, just real quickly, here it's number 3, because I got to cover a couple basic things with you, or I wouldn't be, we'd be leaving things out. Now, here's the next thing I did that I had to master. And all you guys got to learn how to do it too, and that's meetings. You got to get up and do meetings. Every single person in the room, you guys got to learn how to do meetings. If you're not doing meetings, you got to know how to do meetings. Period. Okay? That means you guys. Every one of you guys in the back, all you girls in the back, you got to get up and do meetings. Do the products, do the marketing plan, do the clothes, the whole thing. You got to know how to do it all. Okay? And so you got to know how to do the meetings. We're not going to go through what's happening in the meetings. You guys know what to do. Okay? Here's what you do to do a meeting. Do one. You know what? Do one. Okay? And then if you don't do it so good, do another one. And if you don't do it so good, do another one. Trust me, you'll get good at it if you do it enough times. You won't keep getting up there and being a flop, trust me. You'll do it better and better and better. You got to learn how to do trainings. If you don't know how to do a training, easy. Go to one of the trainings, listen, learn, and then do one. Listen, learn, and then do one. See, you don't really got it in your mind until you're doing one. Okay? You're listening to it, you're absorbing it, okay? But it's going in one ear and out the other until you got to get up there and actually say the stuff. When you say it, you're going to know it. You can't just be going out here doing all this stuff. You got to do it. Okay? You got to do it. And there's nobody in the room that can't do it. You can all do it. Nobody got me after the meeting and said, do this a little better. Didn't work like that. Okay? So you guys, in the speakers that we got now, okay, all of you got to do it. But we got incredible speakers today. So all you got to do is go to one of these STSs and learn from the incredible speakers that we got today, and you're going to be incredible faster than we ever did. Why? Because our people are good. I mean, I wasn't very good when we started these meetings. Here's the products, here's the marketing plan, good night. I mean, they were quick. We used to have that, I remember the big card? I had this great big card, for those of you that haven't heard this story, okay, and it had these stupid little clips on it, and they'd fall apart every time you took the card. The first card had, welcome to my family. What a stupid deal that was. I would have walked out of the room the moment I said that. Man, when I think about some of those old meetings. Okay, here's the fourth thing you got to do. Duplicate. You got to show your people how to retail. Write these things down. You got to teach them how to recruit. You got to teach them how to do a meeting. You got to get them and show them how to do a training. You got to get them and you got to show them how to do conference calls. You got to show them how to do an organizational meeting. And then we'll take over from there and help them get to the corporate schools. And then I'll make sure that they know how to do the chairman's classes, the extravaganzas, and the summit. And I'll do that for you. Here's number 5, commitment. And here's the only thing I can tell you about commitment. You're going to have to sit your family down and talk about your commitment. You're going to have to get the whole family bought in on the program. Okay? It's been part of my problem. Okay? There was commitments in the beginning, but the commitments fell apart. So you may have to continue to keep talking about what the commitment's going to be. Because part of my problem was when the company went public, I made a serious amount of money. And for some reason, people in my family thought that I was not going to have to go out there and work anymore. But they didn't realize that this wasn't just an act up here on stage. This is not an act. This is what I do. So you're going to have to get an agreement with your family here, okay? And everybody's going to have to buy in on it and discuss it and agree. You're going to work this much. You're going to play this much. This is what it's going to mean if you do this. And keep your commitments, okay? And that may have to be refined from the day you start to the time you can become a GET team member. It may have to be refined. And when you become a millionaire team member, it may have to be refined. And when you get to the president's team, it may have to be refined. And then when your spouse sits there looking at you as the president's team member, and your burning desire is to go for chairman's club, okay? And they're getting on your nerves because they don't want you working like crazy to get to the chairman's club, okay? You're going to have one of those little sweet talks. These have been my experiences. Here's the first thing you guys get, okay? Here's the first thing you guys get when you get going, okay? You do everything that you can to make yourself look more impressive to your group so you match the pitch. So here's what I did. The first thing I did was I bought some new clothes. Wasn't that great? Wasn't at the greatest place, but it was the greatest place I could get that would make me look the best, so that what I was pitching would match with the clothes I was wearing. You got it? So for those of you brand new, I remember Jerry, we sent her down to the Goodwill store, and she bought her silk dress for $2 to make herself look better at the meetings that she was given. Okay? So it may have to start way down at the bottom. We didn't get this way by being what you're seeing here today. Okay? This thing started out with a little white jacket and those little black pants. Okay? Okay? And then from there, I got my first car. I'll never forget driving up in that El Dorado. Remember that? And then they made everybody sniff the seats. Seriously, I brought all my supervisors in and I said, sniff the seats, man. This leather is cool, baby. Then the next thing I did was I got a better apartment. A better apartment. Okay? Wasn't a house, it was an apartment. A better apartment. That's where I started. A better apartment. Then I got my very first condo. Never forget my very first condo. Smaller than my bathroom at Gray Hall. Seriously. Can you believe that? Wait till you see my bathroom. It's unbelievable. Okay? And then you may decide you want an office, and then you go for your very first house. I know what happened to me. Okay, this is what I used to look like. It's me going to an organizational meeting back in 1980. If we can bring that up. And that was my new clothes. I know, I look just like Paco. You got it all wrong. Paco looked just like me. And there I was, okay? And I went from that, and I had my very first office. You guys have seen that, okay? Got my little dinky, raggedy old office. There's Frank Lutz putting the number up on the building. Look at Frank Lutz. He was our businessman. He was our top guy. He was a real estate person. Look at him. He looks so corny. Of course, I went from that to now we got the new building. I bought my house in my dreams in 1985. Okay, here's number 8. Get everyone doing everything for you. Get everybody doing everything for you. I don't do anything. You got to get everybody doing everything for you. You got to get maids for your houses so you're not making your beds. You don't do this stuff big in the beginning, okay? I had a maid that came in twice a week. But I figured in the twice a week she was cleaning my house, I could go out and sell me a couple of programs and I was making up the money. Okay? And so you figure this stuff out. But you got to get yourself a maid. You got to get someone cleaning your cars. You got to get someone doing your lawn. Eventually you'll be getting your secretary. But let me tell you something. There's only one way I can keep getting all the stuff done that I do. I got everybody doing everything for me. I give lots of instructions. Go do. Okay? I get a thought, go do this. Get a thought, go do that. Get another thought, go do this. Okay? It's impossible to run an organization of the amount of distributors that we got, with the hundreds of thousands of people that we got, with the thousands of employees that we got, and all the languages that we got, without me just coming up with a lot of thoughts and then saying, go do. And here's what you got to do when you say go do. Write this down. You got to be prepared for some people to not do it exactly the way you would want it done. Then you got to tell them to do it again, and then you got to tell them to do it again, and then tell them to do it again, and tell them to get them to do it again until they do it the way you want it done. But you got to take some chances on some people, or you're going to get so tied up doing everything yourself that you're not going to have any time. You got to have lots of little Mark Hughes running around. You got to have lots of little Alan Lorenz's running around. You got to have lots of little Hughes running all over the place. Okay? And the rest of the little stuff that's happening in your life that clutters up your life, okay, like your beds and your dishes and your cars and your lawns and all that stuff, okay? You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. You can't be having your wife do your dishes. Send her out and sell some product. That's right. Well, what am I going to do if I'm not doing the dishes? You're going to go and hand out some flyers. That's what you're going to do. Okay, here's number 9. Nine. Trust me. Dealing with adversity. Here's all I know what to do. You work hard when it's easy, and you work twice as hard when it's not easy. That's all I know what to do. Doesn't sound like real big advice, okay, but that's what I did. I was working like crazy. So what do you do to overcome adversity? You work twice as hard, that's what you do. You get out and you make it happen. Number 10, personal growth. I'm not any big speaker like Jim Rohn. I don't know how to talk to you about personal growth. Here's all I know is practice makes perfect. You listen, you learn, you try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try till you get better, you try till you get perfect, and then you try again until you're better than that. And then the last one is you never get satisfied with how good you are. You're always better the next time. That's all I know about personal growth. There's not a meeting that we're going to do that's not going to be better than the next one. Isn't this the best summit you've ever been to? Huh? Huh? And trust me, the next one's going to be unbelievable. Because there's not ever going to be a meeting where we're satisfied enough. They're always going to be better, and we're always going to be doing it more incredible, and it's going to be more always unbelievable than the last one. That's the way it's got to be if you want personal growth. That's all I know about personal growth. It's got to be better. That's all I know. Got to be better than the last one. You got to stretch your mind sometimes to be better than the last one. We had Rod Stewart here the other night. What are we going to do next? I don't know, I got to tell you this, it's going to be a lot better than Rod. And he wasn't chopped liver. Here's number 11, setting goals. I can't tell you big speeches about setting goals. Here's the only thing I know about setting goals. Going after things that you cannot live without. Period. Here's number 12. How do I get things done that I don't know how to do? How do I get the products done? How do I get these videos done? How do I keep getting these countries open? Here's what I do. I get people that know how to do it better than I do. And I get them and I convince them that the greatest thing that's ever happened to them in their entire life is meeting Mark Hughes and being with Herbalife. And let me tell you what it is. It'll be the best thing that ever happened to you. And it was. And that's what I do. I get people around me that are better than me. I looked at Dick Marconi, I said, if you get together with me, pal, I'm telling you something, it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. And guess what? Listen, Dick had a lot of customers. Guess who his biggest customer is? Me. You. Us. And here's how I did it. I was never stingy with my money. I've always been good to my people, and they've been good back to me. And that's the way it works. I get better people than I am. I pay them good. I'm not stingy with the money in my pocket. I care exactly what's going to happen to them and their families. I have a lot of passion about what's going to happen to them, and it ends up being a good deal for everybody. And that's how it is for all of my employees, and that's how it's worked out for all of you. And there's only one thing I can guarantee you, it's going to get a lot better. People have asked me all the time, how do you get this incredible team like this working around you? Okay? You got your people working like crazy. I've never seen anybody work the way your people work. And it's not just here, okay? It's the people back there. I mean, the people that put this up. Okay, look at all this stuff that's happening here. The videos, the set, the lights. My people work like crazy for one reason. Write this down. I work like crazy. I work like crazy. I work like crazy, and my people work like crazy. That's how I get them to work. I don't know any other answer than that. Okay? Because there isn't any other reason that it's happening. Sure, I pay good, but pay isn't enough after a while. You know what I'm saying? There's purpose to what's happening. Okay? And I got that purpose, and they get that purpose, and they drive, and we just drive each other. And it's only going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the only answer I got. I know it doesn't sound like brilliant answers, okay? But this is what the truth is for Mark Hughes, okay? And it's happening big time for Mark Hughes, okay? Here's number 14. How do you get your distributors to respect you? You got to say what you're going to do, and then you got to keep your word on it. And there's nothing I haven't kept my word on in this company unless it's been some law or some regulation that's made it not work. Always, every single time, if we tell you guys something's going to happen, it happens. If Mark tells you it's going to happen, it happens. And that's how you get your people to respect you and love you and follow you. It's the same way I have to do with my little kid. I can't be around Alex all the time. I leave Alex sometimes. But it's fine. Alex understands. I tell Alex, here's the deal, man. I said, listen, Daddy's got to go away for 6 or 7 days. But when Daddy gets back, Daddy's going to play with you every single day for 3 or 4 days straight, and we're going to have so much fun, it's going to be unbelievable. And as long as I do that with Alex when I get back, okay, Alex doesn't mind when I go away. He used to cry like crazy when I would go out of the house. He doesn't cry any longer because he knows Daddy's going to be back. And when Daddy's back, we play like crazy and we love each other like crazy and we go out in the mountains and we do stuff together, okay? And as long as that happens with you and your group will love you guys forever. Here's number 14. A lot of people have asked me what I do with my cash. Other than my cars, my house, and land that I've done, here's one thing I don't do. I don't put anything, my money into that I have to manage. If I got to think about it, if I got to look at it, I'm not putting my money in it. A lot of people have told me, you're out of your mind, why don't you buy some buildings? Why don't you buy some of this? Why don't you buy some of that? Let me tell you why I don't buy some buildings. Because you got to think about the buildings. You got to manage the people that are in the building. You got to think about the bills being paid. You got to be thinking about stuff. If I think 10%, okay, of my time about where my money's at, I'm losing millions over here at Herbalife. You don't have to follow this plan. I'm just telling you, I'm worth a couple bucks, and this is what I've done. Here's number 15. And that's building the Herbalife dream. I truly do want to make this the best company. I truly do want to make this the biggest company. And we truly are going to take Herbalife completely around the entire world. We are going to do that. We are going to do that.